some of the stuff that they're looking at. I'll send a message back to her that there's still confusion on the Cassie, and I understand that. It's confusing to
Well,
us.
and I submitted it within.
You
like,
did just fine.
So, okay.
As long as you have something there, because if you don't have anything there, then they're not going to let your project go through. So you did a good job.
Okay.
Which, appreciate it, and I know it's a lot more work, but I really think they're trying to figure out how they're going to make it work for the next few years until the price of the barrel of oil comes back up and they have more revenue coming in. Any other questions? I know that's a pain, Quinn, but I would list every one of them. That's what we told all of the other entities to do. Yeah, in Duchesne County and Daggett County, list it all. Also, one other clarification, Mr. Chairman, you do have a written response to the gentleman specific to the SSD, so after Cheryl presents hers, then I'll let you read so that it can go on public record.
What?
I think we
I
have
thought you
it.
said I was the boss.
Yeah, you want us
We
to
have
read it?
that.
Yeah.
You have it,
Yeah.
but we probably should read it openly.
All right.
Yeah.
You want Kevin just to read it
Yeah.
openly? Okay. Thank you.
There's only a page and a half there.
Unless there's any other questions, I think we'll start down the list first if Ashley Valley Sewer Management Board is here. And if not, I'll have Will come up and read since he's the one that's been doing the calls. So if that's okay with you, Chair. Thank you.
Okay, good afternoon. This is the Ashley Valley. This is so small I can hardly read it. Sewer Management Board. Luckily, they only have one. They want a master plan and sewer model, asking for $250,000, and just to have a sewer plan performed and to put recommendations into a model that they can utilize for their operation. And it's all, and they indicate they will provide $125,000 or half of it, which is typical for a planning project, and are requesting $125,000 from CIB. October of 2023, it looks like they will submit for.
Do you mind stating your name?
Will Wright, sorry, William Wright.
Thank you.
Okay?
My name's Ryan Wolfinger. I'm with Ashley Valley Water and Sewer. The projects we're applying for are a large capacity propane tank at our water treatment plant as an emergency reserve, to expand water treatment plant, adding functions to increase capacity. That's priority one. The second one is sewer system improvements in the Ashley area. Upgrade the sewer system lines in the Ashley area for improved operations. The third is loop line improvements from our Markley Vault to our Chocolate Rock tank to expand, improve loop lines to expand operations. The fourth is water system improvements, general improvements within the majority of our system. Pretty much all areas. And then the last one is sewer to hydraulic model and master plan. We want to have a hydraulic model performed and update the master plan. And that's all I got for today.
We probably will request greater detail for just the improvements and for the water system and the sewer system. But
Would you state your name, please?
Will Wright.
Thanks, Will.
So for the water improvements, it'd be upgrading sizes for fire flow
Yeah,
and in certain areas?
The areas, if you know the areas. Yeah, you can get back with us. We're gonna
Okay.
be doing a lot of calling, it looks like.
Okay, yeah, that might be the best route if that's,
Yeah.
okay. Appreciate that. Is there anything else?
Yeah, you understand, then you'll just get them put together and get with Kevin or Lori and
Yes,
get
sir.
them. Okay,
Okay.
thanks,
Thank you.
Ryan.
So just so everybody is aware, this is, while we are presenting the projects, we are trying to get everything put together so we can make adjustments up until that mid-April mark. So Will's been diligent in calling people. So if we feel like we need some more information, then we'll definitely be getting with you and working through things. And then it'll be submitted to the state soon thereafter by May 1. Is Ballard here?
Kevin, Ballard, I think, was trying to call Will. Mayor Abercrombie was trying to call in.
Oh.
That's the message.
It's possible.
If
Yeah.
not, he is at home.
I do have a voicemail.
Can we,
Would you like
Will-
us to read-
Will, or Kevin, can you read them in?
Yeah, we can just read them in if that'd be okay with you.
Okay.
And I can't speak to the projects. If you have specific questions, we can get back with you from Ballard City. Their first project is a flood mitigation project for $150,000. Second would be a street improvement project for $3 million. The third would be a land acquisition project for $100,000. The fourth would be a storm drain improvement project for $1 million. And then the next project is a maintenance building for $200,000. The sixth project would be highway sidewalks and lighting project for $250,000. And then a street maintenance project for $500,000. And that is it for Ballard City. And I would assume that I will read in the Ballard Water Improvement District as well. First, the Ballard Water Improvement District is looking to do upper zone water system improvements for $2.5 million. The second project is a 2-mile water line pipeline for $2 million. The third is a 1-mile sewer line pipeline for $2 million. And the fourth project would be a fire hydrant project for $200,000. And then I guess if Jensen is here.
My name is Trudy Wheeler with Jensen Water Improvement District. Our number one project is meter and communication upgrade, replacing and acquiring meters with radio read capability at $2 million. Our second project, water system upgrade, install 1.5 miles of 8-inch line on our Red Wash Road, add 1 mile 8-inch line on our 5500 South Loop line, and that's $1 million. Our third project is water system improvements, replacing aging lines from 6-inch to 8-inch for fire flow at $2 million. Thank you.
I'm Dustin McCormick with Mazer Water Improvement District. We've got two projects on the priority list. The higher priority project would be the water line replacement project. I can get more specific on that in writing. I'm happy to do that. Essentially, we're looking at redoing the creek crossings that we have across Ashley Creek, as well as extending and providing another transmission line or replacing transmission lines along the foot of Yellow Hill going over to the Cedar Ridge, Sun Ridge subdivisions. And that's $1 million for that. The other one is our sewer system improvements, and I can also get more elaborate with that. Essentially what we have is several areas in the district that we have concrete lines that are showing their age, and the H2S is deteriorating them, and so that would be hopefully a lining project, again, in dealing with several subdivisions and streets throughout the district, but I can get specific with those in paper, so.
Are we asking questions now, or is that later? Now, as they present? Because I did have a question for you, if I could, Dusty.
Yeah.
I don't know, is one of these the project that you were trying to do this year with the improvement on 2500 West?
No, we didn't have the creek crossing in that improvement. It was our understanding they weren't doing the bridge either. And so we were going to try and couple all of our creek crossings, which are approximately the same age and having the same issues of we've had some failures and had to do some replacement Band-Aids, if you will, on those areas. So my understanding is that project's been moved to 2024, waiting on the canal companies to get their infrastructure in, and then they wanted to do the road in 2024, and we were going to work alongside of
Oh,
them
by then?
in
Okay.
2024, yeah.
Okay, because I didn't know if that was something you would want to include to try, because I know the costs had gone up substantially from what you
Yes.
had estimated, so I didn't know if that was something you wanted to have on here
Yeah.
to be ready for
We'll
next year.
probably look at that for
next year.
2024, yeah.
Okay,
So,
thank you.
So Kevin Yak here again. So to answer your question more on the record, Commissioner Norton, is yes, this is a place to ask questions, clarification about any of the project, coordinate with other entities as well, to make sure that we get our best list possible.
Mike Davis, Naples City. So the 2500 South Stormwater Street Improvement is currently at CIB. Money's being held for it. We're waiting for the NRCS, whatever that is, to put it out to bid. We're gonna add stormwater pipe to it, which is gonna go from 1500 east, the Highway 40, back to 2000 east, from the subway back. So that's already being funded. We may have to go back for more on it. Realistically, the only other project that we're really big in is the 2000 East project, which currently we have under bid with UDOT. Is giving us money. If it keeps running over, then we'll have to go back and get more money. But anyway, we have it. It's gonna start soon. It's supposed to start last week, but snowstorm, and it's gonna start today, but snowstorm, so we'll see when it starts. And the other two are just things that if something breaks down or we dive into, then we'll need. And realistically, kind of like Quinn said, it's kind of hard like with our asphalt management, you know? I mean, we'd have to put every road down, because if we're gonna do something like that, we wanna do it citywide, not just one street at a time type thing, so.
So you're
you
saying
go.
item 4 would actually be item 2 on your
Probably
list?
realistically, probably should be, but as long as it's on there, we don't care. I'm just saying. Those are the two projects that we have in construction going on as of today. So that's it. Oh, the one on the other page is just subdivision that's even older than Brad is, so we thought we better have infrastructure on it and go. But that's all. Probably won't even mess with it. We just wanted it there just because it could go anytime.
To the main lines, you mean, in that
Yeah.
subdivision?
Yeah, there's no curb gutter. There's nothing in there.
Okay.
There's just water lines and stuff.
I
so.
remember years ago, I actually lived there, and
Oh.
there was a proposition made to do curb gutter and sidewalks, and it was turned down by the people. I don't know if it was a special improvement district
That's
they
because
were
I
trying
think
to
right
do.
now, I think the streets are like only 15 feet wide. So
Okay.
if we really had to expand, we would be diving into people's yards. Really
Because
doing a lot
your
of
easement
damage.
is wider than what the road
Yeah.
is by a ways.
So I don't know. It would be a fight to go do it, but we would have to. It needs to be done.
So it's mainly what you're talking about, the improvements would be the road and the curb and gutter?
Yep.
And maybe sidewalk
Yep.
possibly? Okay.
Yep. Thanks.
Will Wright, here for Ori Park Water Improvement District. They have one project they're submitting. It's the name of his water source improvements. They don't have a lot of detail for $4.5 million. It appears they've been working with state or federal, but maybe that's just dreaming for $2 million. So this would be for $2.5 million from the CIB.
I'm John, or are you going to present these? Okay, good. I can.
Jenny Bird, Uintah County MBA. We have 3 projects. The first project is 5 trucks and 2 belly dump trucks. Purchase of these trucks for county operations for $1.4 million. The list has $1 million, so there's a discrepancy we'll need to fix. The second project is for a landfill compactor. Purchase compactor for county landfill operations for $1 million. And then the third project is cemetery equipment building. Purchase and install a building to house cemetery equipment for $1 million. Thank you.
Our fire truck just left, our fireman.
The fire
Now-
truck guy just left. Maybe we can skip over him and come back.
I know there's a lot of projects on here that some are stating if they've already are receiving, I guess, or trying to work with other entities to come up with part of the money. If that's the case, do we need to be stating that right now in this meeting? Do all these entities need to be stating that? Maybe it's not on here, or no?
Kevin, yeah, I think the more detail we can get to state, the better. So yes, in essence, if possible, that would be great.
Well, I think to have a better idea of prioritizing these, we need to know a little bit more about that because there's so much money. We want to make sure if they're asking 4.5, but they're planning on getting 2 million
Yeah,
somewhere else,
exactly.
that makes a huge
Yep,
difference.
it does, absolutely.
So I would appreciate that if
Yeah,
everyone
and I agree with you, so thank you.
Our fire department guy just stepped out on the phone, so maybe we ought to skip over him and we'll come back. That's all right. We will go to UNSSD 1 if I'm, no, let's see, we got,
Yeah.
yeah, it would be.
All right, thank you. Cheryl Meyer, Uintah Special Service District 1. So first off, you can see that we have 8. I probably would, if that's in order of priority, I would probably switch the top 4 and put them under 8. So the transportation projects are the priority, and then the recreation are second on there. So as in years past, like we talked about, these are more like a placeholder. So starting with number 5, the asphalt management infrastructure project. So I did submit road by road list of all of our roads, our B roads that could potentially be put in a maintenance project. And so the roads through Uintah County need to be, that their maintenance list, if it hasn't already been updated, probably needs to be updated. It's been a couple years, and through weather and just normal traffic, probably needs to be evaluated again, road by road, and we can pull those main priority roads to the top. Far as number 6, pedestrian trails, if we need to be specific, the main pedestrian trail that we are working on is the Ashley Central Canal Trail, which we're not anticipating funding from CIB on, but that's the trail that we're currently working on.
Where is that one?
Well, it's part of the big loop to go all the way up to the Steinecker Service Canal.
Okay, so it's, there's the Kids Canal Trail right now.
Which
And then the
the
Service Canal.
The future
trail.
plan is to
Yeah.
have that one big.
Right.
So
just-
what I'm saying, we're working on it. We're doing the Kids Canal, but we're not needing any funding for that. So There are other parts of the pedestrian trail system through the Trails Master Plan that, again, they're not necessarily things that we plan to go to CIB for, because there's a lot of other funding sources for those. But, so that's why it's kind of been a placeholder as far as pedestrian trails, but,
It makes sense, though, because active transportation has become a big issue.
yes,
And I think
Yes.
that would fall under transportation, those
Yes.
trails.
yes.
okay.
So, and then we have number 7, which is the highway infrastructure. So, and that again is open-ended when one of the, when the county sees that one of our roads is in due for more complete reconstruct than just the routine maintenance, then we have a lot of avenues for other funding sources, and so CIB is one of those. So we like to be able to be prepared that if we get to a project that is in kind of an emergency need, we can, we like to go before they're in that state, but so we're ready for that. But we do have part of our transportation master plan. We have a tip which lines those out, so I can get you specific roads that we would be potential. So we have those. I understand, I think, the need for planning, and we have done that. We just didn't do it on the CIB list. So, but I have roads to plug in to that. And then we have same thing with the number 8, the bridge infrastructure project. There are 2 bridges that are, there was a system and bridges were being replaced along the Ashley Creek. There are 2 bridges that have not been replaced, part of that system. I know that the county did a lot of work on one of them, and so I think that they would have, the county would have like a load test limit, and maybe we look at that to determine if there's one bridge more than another that's possibility of failing, and we just put that bridge project. But a bridge probably would be more of an emergency one, and then there's also other funding that we would probably utilize before, but to be able to have the option of using those to match CIB was the idea there. So those are for the transportation ones that have kind of been on the list, the 1-year list. And then as far as going to what was recreation, so they have a softball complex on K property. The K property is set aside for development of recreation. And then the golf course irrigation replacement system. And then also on the K property, connected to the recreation center now, is an indoor sports facility, outdoor pool, splash pad. I would probably, looking at these, kind of call them something different now. I think but that would give a kind of a broad idea of what they're wanting. And then they have on here park infrastructure upgrades. And that is, I can list out the parks as far as city and county-wide, the parks that are under those. And I do see there are some particular parks that are in need of some infrastructure upgrades more than others. So I'll pull those out and get you an actual name of a park. So with that, and anybody else can read that in, brings you to the public comments that we received, and they have my projects listed specifically, but his main concern is that they're placeholders, which has been the main discussion of this meeting. So, but I've addressed Mr. Trepanier last week, just in what these projects were. So I don't want to read his comments in, somebody else can. Anyway, so that is, if there's any questions on any of those projects?
I just wanted to know how you switched them. I'm glad you let us know that.
Okay.
But do you have a top two in each, rec and transportation?
So the top two would be, in transportation, would be the maintenance, the asphalt management infrastructure project. That's our main concern is keeping our roads good, so they don't get to a highway infrastructure project, which would be the second one. And then as far as the recreation one, the indoor sports facility would be a number one for there, and then the softball complex. Well, I take that back. I'm not exactly sure what level the golf course irrigation replacement project would be at, but that would take need over anything that we need. But I would say the indoor facility, and then the golf course irrigation replacement, and I'll double check on the need for that. It's very valuable and important that we keep up on our irrigation infrastructure, especially when we have so much green space to maintain, so.
Thank you.
For the transportation, the highway infrastructure. Yeah, so the asphalt management infrastructure project, and then the highway infrastructure. And the highway infrastructure, I'll get you a list of main roads. But the asphalt management infrastructure project, they do have a list of 1,400 miles of B roads. Yes,
Thank you.
thank you.
Kevin Yak, just reading the public comment that was submitted prior to this meeting from Mr. Lionel Trepanier. I'm sorry, I'm mispronouncing that, from the Utah Tar Sands Resistance Group, dated March 20th, 2023, submitted to Commissioner Brad Horrocks, Chair of the Uintah County Commission, Commissioner Sonia Norton, and Commissioner John Larson, and also to Cheryl Meyer, the Executive Director of the Uintah Transportation Special Service District. And it says, Dear Uintah County Commissioners, Uintah Transportation Special Service District Executive Director, please consider there is a deficiency in the proposed permanent Community Impact Fund capital improvement list because projects proposed by USSD1 are mere placeholders and do not contain a summary description or related project information required by CIB Rule R990-8-5C. Specifically, these projects totaling $18.5 million have no summary description or related project information required by CIB Rule R990-8-5C. And the projects listed are asphalt management infrastructure project for $6 million, the second pedestrian trails for $2.5 million, 3 highway infrastructure for $5 million, and the last one is the bridge infrastructure project for $5 million. The deficiency in the SSD1's portion of the capital improvement list, if uncorrected, can result in all applications from Uintah County area being held by board staff until a future trimester pending a submission of the required information under CIB Rule R990-8-5F. Since the capital improvement list does not need to be submitted until May 1st, there is time to correct this deficiency created by USSD1 using mere placeholders for $18.5 million of public spending. Thank you for your continued attention to the matters of public interest. Warm regards, Lionel Trepanier. And I will just say as a note, if you are applying to CIB, it is required to have a public hearing specific to that project as well. So if there's questions about a specific project, people are able to go to that entity to present public comment there as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
When you submit an application. Thank you.
Okay, maybe we'll go ahead and move up to the firemen. Jeremy, come on up. You'd stepped out, so we skipped over
All
you
right,
for a
yeah,
second.
thank you. Sorry about that. I had to take a quick phone call. Jeremy Raymond, Director of Uintah Fire District. So on our one-year project list, we have Uintah Fire District. Priority 1 would be a Naples ladder truck. Acquire a ladder truck for the Naples Fire Station. So this ladder truck would be a new one to replace the aging 1991 existing ladder truck that belongs to Naples City. That truck currently is just running into problems with the pump testing and also with the ladder failing. And so we need to get that fixed and replaced. This truck would have be the second out truck other than Vernal City if we get a large-scale fire. So we want to make sure we got a good backup there. This truck currently costs $1,500,000. And with all of our fire trucks, like everyone else, we're feeling the pinch. These trucks now take 2 years to build because of the lead out time. And just this year, the cost went up 15% on all of our fire trucks. So we're definitely feeling a pinch there. Our second priority would be a pumper truck for the Jensen Fire Station. This also would replace an existing pumper truck that currently does not meet pump testing, as well as has been giving us problems that needs to be replaced. This is a lease truck from the county. That cost of a truck would be $800,000. And yeah, if we can get both those projects in this year, that'd be great. While we're also building a fire station, that would be awesome. But probably we'll just keep these on the 1 year list for at least the next couple of years. So with that, those are the projects, and answer any questions. Thank you.
Thanks, Jeremy. Appreciate you. Uintah Water Conservancy District, I guess, is up.
Dustin Nebeker with Uintah Water Conservancy District. So on the list, I think it's 2, but it'll be 1. It's the Jensen Unit Pumping Plant. This is needed to fully utilize the planned water development of the Red Fleet project. The pumping plant would develop up to 12,000 acre-feet of Green River water to irrigate farmland in the Jensen area. Brush Creek irrigation rights associated with those lands would be retained in Red Fleet Reservoir and made available for other purposes. We are currently developing petitions and will be asking our municipal customers to consider their water needs out to 2060. The district is seeking funding to assist in phase 1 of the project or initial design and environmental efforts. As for our second one on the list, it is the Steinecker right abutment. And with repairs to the Steinecker Dam now complete, the district is seeking opportunities to reduce the payment obligations of our municipal customers. And those entities include Vernal City, Ashley Valley Water and Sewer Improvement District, and Mazer Water Improvement District. I'm sure if you have any, need any more detail or any more questions, you can contact William if you have his information, but I can do my best to answer any questions if you have any, but if not, thank you.
I guess that's it for today. Come on up, Vernal City. I just seen if Quinn was awake back there.
Keith Despain with Vernal City. We have 8 projects on our list today, and we can supply the increased specifics to Will over the next 2 weeks has been discussed. And just maybe one comment to the reason why 3 projects would be hard for us. I know it was just a recommendation, but whereas the city, we deal in more than just water or sewer. We have streets, we have storm drain, we have the downtown streetscapes and so forth. So to limit to 3 projects would be difficult for us in that regard. But our first priority is a downtown revitalization project. We do have some momentum going right now in that regard, but we want to keep that going. So additional efforts in our downtown improvements is our first project there. Secondly, street improvements. Especially with the winter that we've had, we anticipate quite a bit of need for repairs and things this year. So we have street improvements listed as our number 2. Our number 3 priority would be water system improvements, of which we have no shortage of a need. And we, again, are currently working to improve a lot of our water system. We just have a lot to improve. So we have other projects in the wings for the water system. Kind of the same story on the sewer system. We're having a pre-construction today, actually, on a mile-long improvement for the sewer system down First South. But we still have other projects on the sewer side that we need to include, and so that's our number 4 slot. Number 5 slot is the stormwater. Improvements there kind of throughout the city as we look at that to develop that system a little better is our number 5 project. And then a trails project, we anticipate it's not materialized, and again, we need to get our crystal ball out to see what other funding sources might be coming our way, and dovetailing and making the most of the available resources to fit those needs. This number 7 project is actually in conjunction with 3 of the previous entities that have come up with the Ashley Valley Sewer Management Board, with Ashley Valley Water and Sewer, and also with Mazer Water, to do a kind of a valley-wide sewer hydraulic model and master plan update. So that's a combined effort there. And then finally, a district energy system would be our last priority. So that's what we have from Vernal City. Any questions?
Sorry, now that we're at the end, I mentioned earlier about if you were getting funding from other sources or what you were technically going to the CIB for. I noticed several do not have that filled in. Does that mean you're going for 100%? That's kind of what I'd want to know, I guess, from everybody. If they have that information now, that would be very helpful. If not, then I guess we can just address the ones that are on here with figures.
So from Vernal City's perspective on that, most of those that are blank would be 100% CIB, with the caveat that there could be other funding sources, especially, for example, the district heating system, the district energy system. There could be some other federal grants and things out there that we would be looking for. Those are coming available kind of quickly, and so we don't know what those funding sources might be. But on that one, there would likely be other funding sources involved as well. The trails is kind of in a similar boat too, potential other sources there, but the others are probably strictly CIB.
Okay, thanks.
All right, I guess at this particular time, Kevin, we need to call for a vote. Is that?
Yes, Commissioner, if you could just call for a vote that this group concurs with the list as presented.
All right.
Accept it.
Mr. Commissioner, I make a motion that we approve this list as presented.
We have a motion.
I'll second.
We have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, and I think it,
And this includes all of you since you're all part of the list, so. Yeah, as stated, we will continue to work on these and send them back out to you to make sure that we get everything as desired.
okay, we'll call for, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, motion passed unanimously. All right, I think that is the conclusion of our meeting. Thank you, Lori, Kevin, Will, everybody, and everybody that was here.